Hello, welcome to Kandi's Land. This is a new channel that I've started as parents have asked me, other habilitation specialists and ABA therapists and teachers, of what's the secret sauce? Because I can walk into a classroom of 25 rowdy kids and I can calm them down in less than 5 minutes. Doesn't matter what their abilities are, doesn't matter what kind of classroom it is. And people just think, oh, can you teach me how to do that? A lot of kids that are in therapy, when they come to pick up, their parents pick them up, all you hear is, they had a good day. They had a good day. They wrote their name or something. And you're like, I can't get my kid to sit down for 5 minutes. And you don't get any information. If you do, it's big words like, the ABA words like tacting, which is a small word, but we don't know what it means, right? Extinction and, all these words. All this lingo is created just to make it a little bit more confusing so that you need someone to help you. You don't. Working with kids is simple. And I know that's a major statement for a lot of people who are having a lot of trouble with neurotypical kids who have behavior issues or, I specialize in autism and ADHD, and a lot of parents are just like, I don't know what to do. So I'm starting this channel to give you guys the secret sauce, and I want you to use it. Now, I have a therapeutic childcare. I am a tutor. I'm a habilitation specialist. I do everything right here in my home. Right beyond those doors, it's a little school, a little micro school here in Arizona. But I'm not here to sell myself. I'm here to just get it out. Just the exploitation, I feel, of families and children who just need those simple answers. It's being overlooked. So, without further ado, we're going to start with a common one, and we're going to start with autism just because there seems to be a lot of issue with nonverbal autistic kids who come spend a couple weeks with me and they talk, and some people think it's magic, but it's not. So the first thing that I do is I start with a chart like this. So your child doesn't talk. I'm not requiring anything. The first thing you need to know about me is everything's done with positivity. I let your child lead me. I let them show me what they are into so that I can give them confidence and help them really absorb the love of learning. And that's a statement that most people just think about as a cliche thing. But when you get bit by the learning bug at 4 years old, it never goes away. It never goes away. Now, you may not like institutionalized learning, but you're always going to be a seeker. You're always going to be someone who's out there looking for information. And I'm giving you the confidence at such a young age to let you know you can find it on your own. So that actually helps parents as well, because their kids now become interested in where am I in the world and show me the map. And I can read a book now, so let me read you 7. So that does happen. Or like kids who are nonverbal, and then after a few weeks they really start talking and their parents are like, I'm so excited they're talking, but now they don't ever stop. So that's what we're here to talk about. So if a child comes to me and they do not, they make sounds, but they don't really make words, the first thing I'm going to do, if they were to come to tutoring, is I'm going to use charts like this. And I'm not going to ask them to repeat. I'm just going to say, F is for fish. G is for girl. And we're just going to do that in like a circle time thing twice a day. Like kids are usually here about 4 hours. We'll do that twice a day. And 2 weeks, I'll say F is for, and they'll say fish. Or they'll try. It'll be if or f. And that's enough. We're building confidence. That's a reward. If your child never spoke, but they start to make sounds, every sound they make is a celebration. And then that will encourage them to continue working on this, and that you're not critiquing them. You always want to say the word back. If you say F is for, and they say if, you want to say, that's right, fish. That's a confidence builder instead of saying, no, you didn't say it right. It's fish, So I'm not a speech therapist. I'm a communication specialist. I'm a habilitation specialist. And I think every parent can be that as well. You just have to breathe, and you have to realize this will take a few weeks, but if you are diligent in it, your child will start making sounds. especially if there's some great reinforcement, something they love. Are they tablet kids? Do this, get tablet. And in the middle, if they start to break down like, oh, we got to the third word and I'm done with this, I'm bored. You want to ask them, what are you working for? And you want to show them tablet. Okay, 3 more. And you want to just, every day you want to get a little bit more out of them without all this pressure. I don't believe in compliance. I was an ABA therapist for a while, and I was a licensed ABA therapist. And all this talk about compliance just never sat well with me. I don't want compliance out of any child, but I love to get cooperation out of all humans. And so I approach it with that and only that. Max agrees. He's always got something to say. Anyway, so this is just a very small thing that you can do. The biggest thing to get your child to speak to you is to place value on words. If I can just point and then you know what I want, and so you go and get it for me, there's no value in saying, drink. If I can just go in the fridge and I can just get what I want, because you've made a special drawer, which is that's a loving thing to do, especially if your child doesn't talk. However, you're taking the value away from, I'm hungry. Can I have something to eat? Eat. Any of those words. If you are making it easier for your child to do things without making sounds, they're just not going to see the value in trying to make sounds. So, and I'm really new at this. I'm trying to look at you guys in the cameras. As time goes on, I'm sure I'll get better at this. So again, it's incredibly important to look at, where are you placing value? Are you placing value on me throwing myself on the floor because I want gummies? Or are you just saying, let me know when you're ready and you can try to say something that sounds like gummies and I'll get them for you? We would never do that at a mealtime when your kid's hangry, and you want to never ever try to make this cruel or challenging. That's not what this is for. This is about teaching your child value. So say they're not hungry, but they really love gummies and they'll eat them anytime. They just ate, they're fine. Then you want to get a pack of gummies and you want to encourage them to even just make the g sound. And as soon as they do, give it to them. It's immediate. You cannot wait. It's g. You're right. Gummies. Here you go. And you have to be excited. And sometimes that's hard because parent burnout is real. I don't care what kind of kids you have. It's real. And I know I'm a mother of 3 adult children. So they are all over 18 now and out on their own. And I had some struggles as a parent myself. My kids are adults, so it's not easy for me to talk about whatever their abilities might or disabilities might be, because that wouldn't be fair. Maybe they'll join me sometime and we can talk about it together. But that's the only way that I will talk about my own children, since they are grown adults out here in the community. Also, there's some confusion, as I also studied Montessori. I was a Montessori teacher in all ages, from infants to kindergartners and after school agers. I've taught traditional, I've taught Christian. I've been an advocate for kids through the courts. I've lived in a few different states. I've worked in the school systems. I have really broadened my horizons on trying to understand where the disconnect is. Why I could take someone's kid who only screams and runs and, throws things, and I can have them 2 days and now they're at the table and they're ready to learn, and they're it's not a force. It's not magic. I say secret sauce. It's just something you need to know. You see ABA therapists with these, and they're saying, they're going through, they're having this kid sit and they have like gummies, or it's a lot of times it's food or it is tablet. And another video, I will show you how to get your kid interested in other things to work for instead of food and technology. Some of you think, oh no, there's nothing, but I promise there is. But we're going to start with where they're at and where you're at, because that's what I do. I come to where you're at and we build from there. There's no going backwards. There's no, oh my gosh, we need to hurry up and get forward. It isn't like that. We're going to come to where you're at and we're going to get there. So these are tacting cards. Okay, I like to call them language cards. And it's photographs of literally anything. We take for granted that a child with autism or maybe ADHD or a child that doesn't even, that doesn't have good speech or none at all would not know this is called a plate. That's what they eat food off. They don't know. It's eat. If they speak at all. These items do not have names unless they're used, right? In their everyday, and you're saying, oh, this is soda. Now, I live in Arizona, so everybody has a bottle of water. People drink water all the time. So kids, every drink is water, right? Or it's just drink. They don't get juice very often, and they definitely don't drink a lot of pop out here, which is great. But we still need to know the names of these things. There are so many types of shoes. There's tennis shoes, sandals. And a lot of ABA therapists or Montessori people will say, you have to have real photographs. Yes, incorporated. You need photographs incorporated. However, it is totally fine to use things like this, right? Because they watch cartoons, they play video games. If you tell them that this is a boy and this is a fan, and then they see it in a video game in a cartoon way, they do it all the time. They're like, oh, fan, I know what that is. And it's awesome because all you did was do this a couple times a week. We're going to go over some of these pictures. We're going to go over this. We're going to do our letters. A is for, B is for with something bright, colorful, something that's interesting. And you will see, just by doing that, no stress, no pressure, you will see your child will start to make sounds you've never heard before. They will study your lips. They'll want to touch them. And read your kid a story every night. I don't care what kind of kid it is. A short story that just has pictures, that just says horse, because that is giving them, right before they go to sleep, that literacy, that language component to dream about. And it's massive. So at nap time, we're always reading a book. We always got to read books, and no matter what level you're on, you'll get your level book. I'll come sit next to you quietly and I'll read to you on your level. Another thing with autism especially is if we do this, if we say fan, 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 fan. Autistic kids do not learn to read through phonics. And I've taught hundreds of kids to read before the age of 5, autistic kids. And it's because they memorize. They memorize. That's why they're reading the stories. So when you read your child a book, you want to go, the fan. You want to put your finger under every word. You want to, as you're looking at the picture, you want to say fan and then touch the fan in the story. Or let's make a book. Well, that's not going to be as easy as I thought it would. But you get the idea. If we're looking at a book, we want to underline boy, and then we want to touch the boy. Okay? So if it's a long story, the night was cold, and then you're going to touch the picture. Looks like a cold night. You want to make sure you're adding ad-libs also, because we take for granted what these children understand. All children, toddlers, 2-year-olds, neurotypical 2-year-olds, do not know that this is called Foursquare. Okay? They don't know that. And if they never play it, doesn't matter. I'm saying, not my favorite card, but it's something obscure. And if you look around your house, everything is obscure. The blinds, pots and pans, different types of silverware. We just know spoon at some point. And we've all just been locked into that of, I'm just going to tell you what you need to know in the moment. The secret sauce is to take your hand, walk around the house, point, trash can, light bulb, bowl, and you just want to, you're not asking for anything because they'll just do it on their own. You do that about 3 or 4 times. You just walk around and you pick 5 things that you touch and you label and you walk away. And then about the 5th time you do it, you're going to touch it and they're just going to say it, or they're going to repeat it. They're going to say trash can. They're going to say trash can. And then next thing you know, they talk. And that's That's this video. Join me and continue to join me, and I will teach you about making sentences, getting that literacy out, math, simple products we can buy that'll keep our kids involved. It will take some work on your part to read something and say, oh, we're going to do algorithm treasure. And it's so simple. It's not even hard, right? But your kid's going to take notice. Your kids, if you're an ABA therapist, if you're a caregiver of any type, you'll see they take notice. They take notice to your effort. They take notice to your patience. They take notice to your preparation. And it doesn't even take that much. Again, it's simple. We need to stay with the simple principles that we've forgotten, you know, and all this compliance and all this. You have to be okay with small talk, even though you're autistic and don't see a need for it. I need to put you in this mold so you can ask everybody if they're having a good morning. Is that as important as nutrition, speaking, being able to handle your emotions? It isn't. But for some reason, schools, therapists, they all start with that. Let's start with, you know, you being a good greeter, or you being able to say good morning back, or look me in the eyes. And none of those things are important, and they will absolutely come natural if you come at them in this way. You know, how many kids do you know knows, it's hard to see, what a pizza cutter is? I haven't met one yet. So we label it. I get one out. We have pizza for lunch, you know, and we cut the pizza and it's there. So it is a multifaceted thing that you think is complicated until you execute it and you realize, what have I been doing? This is so simple, right? I'm going to get a cup and I'm going to pour milk, and then I'm going to allow my child to do it too. Even though they're probably going to spill it, I'm going to have to clean it up, then start with water, right? But your child will only learn these skills if people are actually focusing on these practical life communication skills. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.